Hey, welcome back, agents. Today we are going to be going over again the 310 purchase and sale contract, section 3. It is the property section, and obviously it doesn't look like a whole lot. Most people just go straight to the address lines down at the bottom, fill that out, and move on. But there actually is a lot of detail in this section, so we want to read it and then go over it. So we're going to start doing just that. Hereby acknowledging sufficient good contract consideration, i.e. mutual promises herein, seller will convey and buyer will buy for the purchase price any and all lot or parcel of land, appurtenant interests, improvements, landscape systems, and fixtures, if any thereon, and further described below. Seller agrees to maintain in operable condition the property and any personal property conveying in the same operable condition, including any landscaping, grounds, and any agreed upon repairs or replacements from the effective date through closing, subject to normal operable wear and tear. Buyer acknowledges opportunity to inquire about owners association issues, common area issues, condominium master deed issues, assigned parking and storage areas, memberships, lease issues, and financed equipment prior to signing contract. Leasing issues and items and financed equipment, see adjustments. Tenants, leases, future vacation renters, South Carolina Vacation Rental Act reservations, rents, deposits, documents, solar panels, fuel tanks with fuel, alarm systems, satellite equipment, roll cards. So as you can see, there's a lot baked in potentially to this section here. So obviously, in addition to the house and the land, appurtenant interests is a fun legal term, but things that could be stuffed in under that are fences, storage buildings, in-ground swimming pools, air rights, mineral rights. I actually had a builder about 8 or 9 years ago, and they bought a bunch of foreclosed properties that were bank owned. And they came from D.R. Horton when they left Greenville in 2006. And what we found out is that D.R. Horton actually took the mineral rights from all of the land that they purchased, and when they converted them into buildable lots, they wrote the documents so that they kept the mineral rights. So it's air rights and mineral rights are something that most of us don't think about. The public doesn't really think about it, but it's something that's included in appurtenant interests. Some of the other things here later down, which you can use this review to really kind of put a red flag in your mind the next time you are writing an offer. And I know it's tougher when there's less inventory and you have to move quickly. But some of the things you might want to be asking listing agents well before you write an offer is, what is the contact information for the homeowners association? You might be well served, serving your buyer well, if you contact the homeowner association and ask about the property that your buyer is interested in, to make sure that there are no liens or missed past payments. Make sure the homeowner is not behind on their payments. Ask about any assessments that have either been done in the past or have been recently approved, and what are the dates of the payment of those assessments. Condominium master deed issues. We could probably do a whole video on that, but that is something you want to find out. Who is managing the condominium, you want to be getting the insurance policy and the financials. You should be able to get that from the listing agent if you're representing the buyer. If you are the list agent, you're really in the middle of prepping the listing. You should be going ahead and getting that information from your seller. Ask your seller to get that data. So the master deed, insurance policy, are there any restrictions from the condominium master deed? How are the financials for the condominium? And that way you can convey to any potential buyers that the condominium that you are listing in is a very healthy area. It's a healthy place. So there are no issues there. So that could go a long way if you're trying to differentiate your condo listing from others out there, because most agents are not going to proactively put that information out there or even have it available. So that would put you head and shoulders above the rest. Assigned parking and storage areas. So again, you're thinking downtown Greenville, condos, townhomes that might have assigned parking or paid parking. Maybe it's a membership or a lease of a parking space. Some of them downtown can get fairly expensive. So all of those things are going to convey with the property, but the buyer has the right to ask any and all questions about those things. Lease issues. It's kind of a general term, but it may be something that your buyer may just live in temporarily, just using an example here. Live in temporarily, they may be moving somewhere else, and they're going to either rent it out long term, or they may just want to convert it or have thoughts of converting it to an Airbnb, just as an example. Well, lease issues would pertain to the HOA or condo association restrictions in reference to short and or long-term lease capability for the homeowner. So there may be restrictions that the homeowners association or the condo association puts on the owners to where they cannot do any kind of leases, or they might be able to do long-term leases but not short-term leases. Financed equipment prior to signing contract. So financed equipment, you kind of have that here. You have solar panels is probably a big one. Alarm systems, potentially satellite equipment, and fuel tanks. So again, those are things that are going to convey, but the buyer has an opportunity to make sure what are the details of those financed equipment that is part of the property. So once you get past all of that, then obviously the easier part is just filling in the address, unit number, city, zip, county, lot. So out of all of this, I would say you really need to fill in as much as you can, but if you're missing info, the block and the section phase are probably I'd probably say the lesser of all the information. All the rest of it is highly important, because there have been times where the address is really incorrect in CRS and it doesn't match up with the tax map. So you need to make sure you have a correct tax map and the lot number and all the rest of this. If you don't have the block and the section phase, that's in most cases okay, should be fine. We've never had an attorney kick that back because that's blank. But in terms of an attorney, title searches, lenders, all the background information they're going to be running, having the address, the lot, and the tax map really is important. And then the last part of Section 3 is obviously the personal property. Is there anything that's going to convey as personal property with this sale? So typically, as you all know, you want to put any personal property on a bill of sale, but they do allow to write that in here it would be preferable to have it on a bill of sale so it's separate from the contract. And if there's any payments that are made, that can all be written in more detail. This area just doesn't allow for much detail at all. So really the one-page bill of sale that's in the SCR library is really the best way to go. It's more official. It's got much more detail and verbiage in there so that if the sale doesn't happen, then everything will revert back. So I would, if you have personal property like a refrigerator, a washer and dryer, a lawnmower, patio, furniture, anything like that, you want to check this box and fill out the bill of sale. So personal property compared to real estate. Obviously, real estate is anything that is affixed to the property. So inside the house, obviously everybody's had the experience of curtains and blinds and curtain rods, audio visual equipment, speaker system. So really, for instance, anything that is like curtain rods, those are affixed to the wall. The curtains are not. So the curtains are typically personal property, whereas the rods are part of real estate. Another example is the AV equipment, having speaker systems and having either TV racks that are attached to the wall. So the rack really would be considered affixed. The TV not. And so those are just a couple of examples other than your run-of-the-mill refrigerator, washer and dryer. So anyway, again, personal property needs to be put onto a bill of sale. Really just keep real estate on the real estate contract. It makes things a lot cleaner. So anyway, that is it for section 3. Thank you for watching, and look out for the next video.